turn yourselves into a greasy spot on a country road somewhere, go right ahead. I don't give a shit, and I don't think anybody else does, regardless what they say to your face.
Hey, Lori, what in the hell are you doing in there? Is she gonna ride with you?
Mind your own business, John.
Yeah, she's going with me. You take care of yourself, man.
What's your name?
I heard she was in a burn rubber and making motors blow. So what the school asked her just how fast she liked to go. She said, how many cubic inches you got where it counts? I told her 125 and she took my motor mounts. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod ain't enough for her. She didn't say a word. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. And I'm in my rod to pose. She's a hot rod whore. Well, she's in all drive distance. Stroke and brake, chest too. And a vulnerable and a positive traction returns her to go. That head now head, give her the kind of head buddy your table wag. You better go sitting on your hoop. It's in the bag. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. She don't need to know your son. Just your token power. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. They're shining my rods up gold. She's a hot rod whore.
There it is. A little quicker intro than normal. Welcome everybody to Jeff's Garage Podcast. Let's do a little breakdown of what Jeff's Garage Podcast is. Of course, it is me and Benji here. We're going to be talking about cars and anything that fits in your garage. We are on the Nonsensical Network. And Benji, you know, a lot of people ask, what is the Nonsensical Network?
It's a show at least 6 nights a week as of right now. What is people going to tune in on Mondays?
Well, Mondays is Men's Caring for Men. Tuesdays, of course, is Jeff's Garage. And what's on Wednesday?
Man, we've got What the Fuck News on Wednesdays.
And
Thursdays, we have...
well, actually, Thursdays, I think the boys on Talking Shit are going to be taking a break.
Okay.
One of them actually just got a new promotion. So he's going to be, they're working out schedules and so on and so forth. So they're going to take a little break. And then,
excellent for him. Congratulations.
Right, Brian. You know, we're happy for him. Hopefully, he can make some more money and give me some. And then Friday,
the trickle down effect. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Friday, of course, we have Glick's House of Music. Now, this week, he is interviewing 4 women for I think it's called The Women That Rock. He just sent me a thing about it the other day, and I'd have to look it up. It's Women Rock LA. And he's going to have Jules in the Howl and some of her friends. They're all going to be doing the same show.
Nice.
And I thought I had it here. Actually, I think I have it in my gallery. What do we got Saturdays while I look that up?
Man, we have the Nonsensical Nonsense Show, which is the staple, which has started. That is the mother show of the network.
Exactly.
And
then Sunday
is the placeholder for miscellaneous shows right now. I don't know.
I think so. It comes down to, Steven is working some stuff out for him. He's but we might be moving some shows around to different nights and as we all know, life gets in the way. So I have a little quick ad here. Not really an ad. It's just a picture for an ad for Friday's show for Glick. This is Glick's House Music. It's called the Women Rock LA. So as you see there on your screen, it's Friday night, 8 p.m. It's he's got Jules in the Howl, Mizzy. I can't really read it that well. I got it right here in front of me though. You got Marley and Bree. They're all going to be on the show. Do a little bit of a women who rock kind of thing, which is kind of cool because I love Jules and Howl. They're great.
I dig Women That Rock, man. I have a few. I'm into heavy metal, and there's a few lady singers that I really enjoy. So it's always fun to get out and see the chicks, rock out. no matter
Well, not
what
only that,
location
like-
you are in the United States.
The Jules in the House, that chick can sing, boy. Let me tell you, wow. I'm seriously impressed every time I hear her songs.
Fantastic.
She does
I'll have
like
to tune in and check
she
it
does.
out.
She has a cover of All Along the Watchtower
Yep.
that is maybe not superior to Hendrix, but it's up there, dude. It's up there.
But her take on it, right? And that's fun.
Yeah, it's a cover. I get it. But tonight we are going to be doing the best because this is our 10th episode, bud. We're going to be
How
doing
fun
the
is
best.
that? 10
and
episodes
worst.
already.
I know, right? It goes fast.
It did. That was really fast.
Next thing you know, we'll be at 300, just like Nonsense Go Nonsense. Well, I think we're over 500 or 600, but whatever. It seems to fly by. But tonight, like I said, we're going to be doing best and worst cars ever. But and I removed it and I didn't put it back. Oh no, here it is. We're going to do our staple of "Do you need this tool?" And I got a video for you, buddy. This is. I'm not going to say it's a definite need like I did with the screwdriver, but this is cool. Let me go and play this.
This has got to be one of the most innovative tool systems I've ever seen. Lathe, table saw, drill press, and so much more. What is this?
This is Shopsmith. What we do is we make one machine that is all of those machines. So it's a table saw, a lathe, a drill press, a disc sander, a router, a shaper, everything that you need to get started, all in the space of a bicycle. With our touchscreen, has everything preset. The motor calibrates itself to whatever tool you're using. So the lathe right now is turning, and so you just hit the lathe button and it starts up. You tell it what kind of wood you're using and what you're doing.
And it automatically calibrates it.
It also calibrates itself based on the current you're using. So if you have a 110 connection, it'll operate efficiently at a 110. It'll upgrade itself if it senses you have a 220 connection. It'll increase the horsepower, make it more efficient.
And where can you find them?
Shopsmith.com.
And I'm actually looking up right now the bad news of the price. I don't actually see a price. Therein lies the problem. I think it's a good little tool. You know, it's holy crap, dude. I'm not mad at this. $3,000, buddy.
So I have a couple of thoughts on this, right? So disclaimer, Jeff does not show me, do we need this tool, like
Right.
this part. I do not know what any of this is. You know, when you guys see it, I see it.
Right.
This is super cool for multiple reasons.
It's the size of a bicycle.
This thing is crazy. You can be a homesteader and have something like this. So you're not carrying 15 different things around. You're carrying one machine around that can do all this. You can live in a smaller, let's say like townhome, and have this thing kind of set in a corner, and you're just into woodworking. This is right there. It's all one machine that you just kind of put the pieces on and off. You don't have multiple machines taking up multiple areas of wood.
Right.
This is something that a hobbyist, this is obviously geared towards a hobbyist, or like
Or a
you
starter.
said, this is the only thing that you said to me. This is something decent that you could take to a job site.
Yeah.
And that's immediately when I jumped into someone who homesteads maybe, right? Like homesteads on a budget. This is kind of like someone who can plug up to a generator, get what they need to get done, knock it out, put the machine away, or immediately set it up for something else. If someone needs a table, they can go from step A to step B to step C. And they're not just building square legs, you know what I mean? They can make it decorative. This is a pretty cool machine.
Now I did say that it's $3,000. I'm wrong. Just the touch screen adapter, that's $3,000. You basically build what you want. So you know, if you got a saw, sand, drill, bore, turn, router, or shape, you know, you add each piece, and each one has a different price. So, you know, go over to Shopsmith. It's 7 tools in one. I'm not mad, dude.
No. I mean, for sheer how much space it takes up.
Yeah, it's like if you got a Harley, in a space that you put a Harley, you know, like a decent sized Harley, you have a full shop.
Correct, because the problem with, like, saying if you're into woodworking, right? The problem is you need a lot of space. You need all the tools, and then you need the space separate for all the wood and different types of wood and different lengths and widths and all that stuff. This condenses that down and gives you more space for the wood.
Well, I mean, in the space you got right there behind you with the Porsche and the little bay next to it, you got a full wood shop right there. I'm not mad.
Absolutely.
I'm guessing you're probably looking at, let's say 10 grand. Let's say 10 grand. Once you get everything shipped and everything, but you can spend 10 grand on just a table saw. You know, so this, I'm not mad at this.
No, not at all, man. This is super cool, super compact. This is something you could throw in the back of a pickup truck and take
or
to
a van.
site.
Yeah,
or van, anything like
and
that.
It'll automatically detect if it's 220 or 110. That's if you've ever plugged something 110 to 220, you quickly realize you fucked up. Let's be honest, because that drill goes and then starts smoking. And you're like, well, there goes another drill. So this automatically detects it, and you're ready to rock and roll. I'm not mad at that.
Not at all. Super cool little product.
Yeah, so you know, shopsmith.com is the website. You know, they got a phone number there. You know, they don't really have prices, so to speak. You know, you have to maybe call and say, this is what I want, the exact same thing for video. This one that we just saw is called the Mark 7. It's I want one. I just need however much it costs to get it. But subject at hand. We've all had those cars where and let's be honest, worst and best, it's subjective.
Absolutely.
You know, but there are those cars out there that are, when we see them, we're like, that is the ugliest thing ever. Who the fuck would buy that? And
there's some cars that are just universal.
Yeah, well, and let's be honest, and I'm not a dig on the boy, but they're cars that Glick would buy. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care. It's like it's a point A to point B vehicle.
Totally
like,
get it.
You know, and it has nothing to do with the man's taste. He's not a car guy. Like you and I would never buy, for example, the first one on my list, the Pontiac Aztec.
Absolutely would never buy.
Horrendous.
Yep.
Horrendous car. The concept of this car was actually kind of cool because they originally had 4 individual motors. The concept had 4 individual motors that ran, not motors, but like generators that ran off the motor and would drive each tire. Did they do it? No. They just left the shape. Now, the one cool thing about the Aztec, it had that camping gear set up where you pop the tailgate, you had the tent. That was kind of cool, but that was the only thing cool about it. And I have like,
used it.
and yeah, well, yeah. Would you actually use it? That's the second thing.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, yeah, but I've never seen anybody use it. I've seen pictures of it set up, but
yeah. Well, it was also like an extra $400 upgrade.
Oh, that's funny, Glick. I hear you.
It didn't come with it.
No. Well, none of the cars comes with those kind of accessories, right? The Jeep doesn't come with it. There's a couple other ones that none of that comes with it. Those are all accessories and they're crazy expensive.
But going back a little bit to, and we're going to focus on worst cars at the moment because best cars so subjective. I mean, everybody's like, oh, my brand new fucking Mustang is the best car ever. Well, that's because you bought it, you know?
Sure.
So, but universally hated cars is basically what we're looking at. Of course, one of the most infamous hated cars, the 78 Ford Pinto. If you look at it wrong, it will blow up. And it would not a terrible looking car. Well, the front end is kind of ugly, but huge design flaw that if it was rear-ended, it would explode. or catch fire.
Yep.
Could have been cool, but huge fail.
I agree.
And my third on the list, my brother and I, you know, he's like 14, 15 years older than me. He and I have this huge argument all the time. I'm not a Ford guy. He's not a Ford guy. But because we're car guys, we do like the Mustang. I love a Fox body Mustang. I think the 92, 93, I think they're beautiful. I think they're flawless. However, his quote unquote dream Mustang is the 74 Cobra. And I'm just like, dude, really?
Yeah, I'm not into it.
It literally looks like somebody took a Pinto and pushed the front end a little bit and threw a V8 in. I guess it's that time and in like you and I were talking before the show, you know, in the 70s, early 80s, I don't think manufacturers knew what the hell they were doing because it does come along that gas crisis
question
thing.
marks being made.
Well, it was that time where there was that gas crisis. You know, gas was just getting over like 80 cents a gallon, and people were freaking out. And the big three, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, started making economy cars, I guess you would call them, even though they were still, you know, some of them were 14 feet long.
Yep.
We're still on Mustang here, and I'm sorry, buddy, I gotta disagree with you. You know, you said you hate the 2000 Mustang here. Now, granted, this is the Cobra R. This was like like $80,000 car when it came out. I love it, and I get what you're saying. And without the Cobra R upgrades, they were kind of boring.
Yep.
This was when they started doing the 4.6, right?
I guess I don't know much about this body style. I'm not into it. Like the standard version has that little black line in the top of the hood. The car just looked goofy. Like it was super plasticky.
Well, even when you see them on the street, if you see them on the street now, you're like, It's not a head turner. You're not like, holy shit, you know.
But how about this? I'll say the same thing. Like I don't think you go to like Honda Civic, like 90. I think it was like 96 to 2000. I think the Honda Civics looked pretty good. Then they hit the 2001 body style, and they
completely
Yeah, exact same thing.
I
It's almost
100%
like the
agree.
same little error, man. It's like real goofy, bubbly, cartoony,
Well,
plasticky looking.
Speaking of bubbly and cartoony, I love this thing. I think it would have been better if it would have had a better motor. But the PT Cruiser, man.
I think you can get by if you say like the HHR, right?
Well, yeah. Well, the HHR, these are almost universally hated because they had that 4-cylinder.
Well, they're throwaway cars, right? That's exactly what they were designed for. Because
however,
they have to pass. There have to be so many throwaway cars for them to produce a gas guzzling car. So this was a throwaway car.
Right around the time when they had the Plymouth Prowler, which I thought was a beautiful car.
Yep.
And I, looking back, I'm like, fuck, I had the money. I should have bought one.
Yeah, Plymouth Prowlers are still one of my favorite cars.
I think they're beautiful.
The big, goofy, black eyebrows on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That. But that's one of those safety things. Like when Lamborghini brought the Countach here, they had that weird fucking eyebrow bumper.
Yes.
And so, nowadays they're old enough. You can go like, well, it's Euro spec. Don't worry about it.
Rip that bitch off and relocate that blinker.
Agreed. Now, another little bubbly car that on that same genre of the PT Cruiser, got the SSR. A truck that was not a truck, but was a truck.
I really liked this when I came out. Then I started disliking it.
It's a love-hate relationship.
I like it, but I wouldn't own one because I would feel real goofy driving it.
I would totally own one, but it would not be like my daily. It'd be like, I'm going to take this out and beat the piss out of it because it's a V8 rear wheel drive. The convertible thing, I'm not a convertible guy.
You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of like a SEMA build, right?
Yes, I see where you're going there.
Yeah. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And it's a cool concept. I think they did pretty well when they first came out.
And it was that whole time where
management, I agree with that about AMC,
the big
Brian.
three.
Geo Metro, I completely agree. My buddy had one. It was fantastic at like 70 miles per gallon.
Those Geo Metros you can't kill. They're
Dude,
like
no,
Toyota.
it was like 70 plus miles per gallon. This thing was like
Three-cylinder.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and would just, you couldn't kill it. You could pour sand in the cylinders and still start it right up.
That's funny as shit right there, Blick.
What do you say?
PT Cruiser, tell me you're blowing guys behind Walmart.
Right. I agree. However, they did have the PT Bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the PT Bruiser, they only made about 300 of them.
Correct.
Out of the 10 million. But the PT Bruiser was a V8. It was 2-door.
Yep.
And it had well, technically it was 3-door because the 1-door, instead of doing a sliding door, they had 1 door. And it was a van.
Yep.
But it was a V8.
Kind of like the pedal van style, I guess is what.
Yeah.
They're for.
And
was that the one that was supercharged?
Yeah. No, it was a V8. It was running.
Okay.
It was running like a 350 or 320 or something like that. Not a huge V8, but it had some nuts to it, and it was rear wheel drive.
And it's made of plastic again, so it can haul out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the HHR again? I'm not super.
Well, the
familiar with
HHR is basically the same thing, just Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
So Chevy did, and I'll pull up a picture here. The HHR was Chevy's answer to the PT Cruiser. Once again, not a car.
I agree, Brian.
The problem with the HHR is I'm trying to think of the nice way to put it. They put a 4-cylinder in these fucking things. That's the problem I had with them. You know, you throw a V6, make it rear wheel drive, it could be cool.
I don't know why they didn't.
This is the HHR.
Well, I don't know why. It's a different company, so never mind. I don't. Yeah. I just no. Chrysler and Dodge are the same ones. So wonder why they didn't try to put the SRT4 engine from the Dodge Neon in it.
Well, technically, it was the same block, and you could get the.
But I'm saying you could have
PT Cruiser GT, and it was a turbo.
But it wasn't an SRT4 like the Dodge Neon. Because now they do that shit on everything. If it's Dodge, I mean, they're throwing a Hemi and everything, and then they put it the red eye, then they got the Demon.
Weren't they talking about doing the Hellcat motor in a fucking minivan? I don't know if it was. I don't know if that was rumor.
Sure. Maybe the early 2000s, before 2010 was kind of practiced, and then they were like, "This is what we're going to come out with," and let's. I mean, because the fucking red eye and Hellcat, like, are you kidding me? Those are.
And that Demon
I'm not super big into domestic cars. I like the Corvette, but man, when you get into like the Dodge Demon, red eyes, and the Hellcats, I mean, sign me up. Are you kidding?
Well, the thing is with domestic cars, they do one thing really well. They go great in a straight line. As soon as you see a curve, that car goes, well, I don't know. We'll try it.
I like European cars.
Yeah, well, and don't get me wrong, European cars are great around corners, but they're not great in a straight line.
There's not enough straight lines.
This is true. Back to the whole bubbly nature of the HHR, which was Chevy, and the PT Cruiser. Toyota had a little bubbly-ish nature. This is the RAV. This is the 2-door RAV4. They didn't make a whole lot of them. My brother.
Were those released here in America?
Yeah, my brother had one in the States. He bought one brand new. I think his was a 90, or no, it was a 2000.
I don't know if I've ever seen this car.
Well, here's the kicker. They're only like 4,000 of them were ever made.
Okay.
And
for the world?
No, in the States.
Oh,
I don't even know if they were available anywhere else. But the goofy thing about this is This thing, it was like a Geo Metro 4-wheel drive.
So was this kind of like the attempt to put a micro European car here in the States?
I think so.
Okay.
But the thing is, I drove the thing once. And, my brother, he's very open about it. He's super, super gay. Like, this dude walks out of the store and you're like, that's a gay guy, And he showed up in it and I was like, so you're really announcing you're gay?
Yeah.
Because it screams, I'm a gay man.
Sure.
And, or lesbian. This is where you and I disagree again. The last one I have here on the list, and then I have a little bit of update news for you on some cars.
I love it.
You and this.
I don't like it.
What year? This is the 80s Corvettes.
Don't like it.
Body style, I thought they were great, but they had no fucking power.
I don't like anything about this car.
I like the side pipes. That's cool, man.
And how many of them came with side pipes?
Well, it was a dealer option.
There you go.
But in all honesty, if you bought one and it doesn't have side pipes, you can get side pipes for it for like $1,000 and then throw them on yourself. But my thing is like, I think these had like 170, 180 horsepower. They were like, they were dogs.
Were pitiful. Yeah. And this is one of the absolute worst years for Corvette. And even resto shops don't want nothing to do with this Corvette. There's no return on investment with this one. They're super. This is when they converted the front end to plastic. The engine is
yes.
It's just a whole
But
bunch
it did have the Corvette summer style hood. It had that flippy flop hood. That was cool. But that was
had
about the only thing.
T-tops. That was the only thing that was cool about it.
T-tops make everything cool. I don't care what you say. T-tops make anything cool.
All right, let's check out what Brian's saying. Dodge Caliber. I wasn't a big fan of the Dodge Caliber, but anything with SRT4, I completely agree with you.
Okay.
SRT8, I can't argue with that.
You can't mess with anything SRT8. The Caliber, I had the Caliber on here. I took it off. I didn't upload it for the simple fact they're still running, and they sold a lot of them. For me,
again, it was the throwaway car, right? I mean, that's the point.
Well, yeah, but it was like having the Magnum without having a Magnum. It was the baby Magnum.
Correct.
The only problem, they weren't wide enough.
It's kind of like Challenger and Charger now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you can't afford the Challenger, you get the Charger. I think. Again, I'm not super familiar with
the Challenger was a 4-door.
Okay.
Charger's
so reverse what I said. Again, I'm not super familiar. I like both of the cars that are with the Hellcat engine. Like they're absolutely freaking disgusting, and I've almost been tempted to buy one of them a couple of times. I like them so much.
Look, the thing is like I have a little bit of news. I have a little bit of news when it comes to so and I want to say it was in, I can't remember, I think it was in Tennessee.
Yep.
A record is held, but it's not a record you want to go for. It was $1.6 million of brand new cars stolen in less than a minute. Some professional thieves broke into a Dodge dealership.
Yep.
Took a Dodge Ram TRX, a Demon 170, and 4 Hellcats, one of them Red Eye, and a couple of Challengers in under a minute. And they used the Demon 170 to open the doors to get them out of the building. And I'm pretty sure those cars will never be seen again because they're probably here. I might see them before you do.
That's funny. Yeah, because let's face it, at the end of the day, it's not the car that people are after. It's that motor.
No. Oh, yeah.
That motor is incredible.
It's expensive as hell.
And people want them. So much so people want this motor that the boys from Goon Squad went and bought an absolutely, completely destroyed Red Eye car just to take the motor out to put into something we don't know yet. So I'm super excited to see.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man! Well, no one knows what they're putting it in yet. So they went and got the motor running and everything. The car is unfixable. Like it is.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
much
there's-
more than scrap metal. They
Well-
just bought it just for the motor.
And if Goon Squad, if anybody can build it, Goon Squad can, because I don't know, when you saw that Lamborghini they bought that was fire damage, and that thing looks gorgeous now. But I have a news update. We were talking about Dodge here a minute. Well, we've been talking about Dodge here for a minute. Dodge has a new crossover. Do you understand the concept of I can't keep it on the lot? Like,
I understand it, and
well, I'll explain it to the folks that don't.
please do. I need a refresher.
So if you have a car lot and you order, a bunch of Dodge Neons and you want to sell, and they're on the lot 10 days or less, that means you can't keep them on the lot. They sell like hotcakes.
Yep.
Well, Dodge has built a new car. It is a crossover, and I forgot what it's called already. It's called the Hornet. So the Dodge Hornet is a crossover. So lot time, 10 days or less. Like I said, can't keep it on the lot. 100 days, it's not good. 672 days on the lot. The Dodge crossover Hornet. I think that's a terrible picture.
So they can't get rid of them.
They can't give them away. And you can get these for like almost 15 grand now.
Wow.
Because they can't get rid of them. I don't think they're a bad car. I don't think they were marketed, because until I saw the video about this the other day, they got an RT version, by the way. Until I saw the video about this the other day, I didn't know it existed.
Now, wasn't there a Hornet before?
Well, yeah, Dodge had it was a Hornet. It was basically a Roadrunner. Back in the 60s, you could get the Roadrunner or you could get the Hornet. This is obviously not the Hornet of the 60s, but it's not a terrible car. It's a crossover.
To me, that's competing with the Hyundai, right?
And well, let's be honest. If you're going to buy a quote unquote throwaway car and you want to keep it for a while, you don't buy domestic. As much as I hate to say that, you buy a Honda, you buy a Toyota, and you're going to have that car for 20 years.
Better
and then
warranties.
your kids can drive the wheels off it.
Yeah, better warranties, everything. Yeah, it's. I didn't even know that was there. Again, I don't really keep up with the domestic market whatsoever.
This thing has been out for almost 8 months.
Never heard of it.
The first time I heard of it was on TikTok when they were talking about it. They're on the lot 670 plus days.
I'll be honest. Most Dodge dealerships don't even promote their Dodge dealerships, right? They promote their Jeep dealerships.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't pass a Dodge dealership anymore. You pass a Jeep dealership.
Agreed.
So, unless you know this car exists.
Well, when you go into
how are you really supposed to know?
When you go into a dealership, 90% of the time you know what you want. But if you're just car shopping, you're like, hey, I'm looking for something for my kid. He wants a Dodge vehicle or a Ram or whatever. Your salesman going to be like, well, we got these Hornets. And everybody goes.
People with brand loyalty, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And for I'm kind of looking up the specs. Real quick, because I haven't done any research on this car. Because it's got 268 horsepower, dude. That's not terrible.
No, it probably doesn't even weigh a ton. It's probably got decent safety features.
Yeah, all-wheel drive, 9-speed automatic. Okay, here's the problem. Base level, 41 grand.
You can go get a Hyundai, cheaper than that. Hyundais are. There's like one or two of them that don't look that great anymore, but for the most part, the Hyundais they've made their money. They're able to. I mean, hell, so much so they got rid of they branched out and have a whole Genesis line.
Yeah. If you wanted this thing fully loaded, it's 61 grand, dude. For 61 grand, I can get a a V6 Challenger.
So right now, literally right now, Ford recalls 2024. Ford issues 34th recall of the year with manufacturing malfunctioning Mustangs.
Oh, it's not just the Mustang, sir. Ford is actually
34th
issuing a
recall this year that just dropped.
They recalled a bunch of F-150s as well. And what's wrong with these F-150s? I'd like you to take a guess, sir. Besides the fact that they're Ford
I'm just going to
F-150s.
throw steering now. I'm not sure.
No, out of nowhere, it'll just throw itself in reverse.
That's a massive issue.
So you're doing 60 miles an hour, and that fucker throws itself in reverse.
And then there goes your transmission all over the highway.
Or if it catches, you're next thing you know, you're spinning 360 degrees into a fucking wall.
That's if
not
you're
a good
lucky
look.
and you don't go directly out the windshield.
Yeah, that's not a good look for Ford. I'm sorry.
No.
I get it. Like there's not a company out there that hasn't had a recall. Let's be honest. But that's a major flaw.
What I just read was their 34th recall this year. Like, what the heck is going on over there?
Yeah.
Let me read this again. This
Please,
literally just came. Ford recalls 2024. Ford issues 34th recall of the year with malfunctioning Mustang. That just came in from NJ.com. Like, holy moly.
Does it say what the malfunction is?
I have to click on it, then it would get me out of StreamYards.
I understand. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, and nobody likes a recall. Like, my mom bought a Geo Metro back in the 90s. Beautiful car, great car, worked great. It had a recall on it. And the recall was that if you slam on the brakes too hard, the rear end will lock up. I found that out the hard way. And mom and dad got a brand new car. And it wasn't my fault. Somebody pulled in my lane. I hit the brakes and the fucking rear end locked up. But
Jeff was doing rear end stuff.
Yeah, it was like pulling the emergency brake. It was kind of cool. Like it would have been cooler if I'd have been able to pull out of it, but I didn't expect it to happen. So, but yeah, I ended up on a ditch sideways.
I love how I'm froze on the.
I noticed that.
That's weird.
I don't know. I gotta like upgrade my software or something on my computer.
Hilarious.
So supposedly the Hornet is replacing the Caliber because the Caliber,
So they're both being sold right now.
I don't think the Caliber is being sold right now. I think they've gotten rid of it completely. It's not an ugly vehicle. It's not my first choice. It seats 5. It's got, plenty of power. 288 horsepower. It's a plug-in electric hybrid. So
is everything at this point, right?
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm not buying it right there. Just saying. I don't know. It's one of those weird things. Why wouldn't you advertise a new, especially if it's a hybrid?
I'm not sure why you wouldn't advertise that. I'm not sure why you wouldn't upgrade your computer software either, so I don't look like an idiot.
I don't think it's my computer software. Like I think it comes down to I have like 400 million things on my computer. So I need to like clean up. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you can have it sounds like this thing doesn't have any issues. Like it sounds like a decent vehicle. But
or maybe they just haven't had enough of them sold for us to be aware of issues, right?
Well, I think, like I said, it's only been out for about 6 months. So once again, we talked about this the other day. Do you really want first gen?
I do not. Almost on nothing do I want first gen.
Agreed. It's, first
gen.
gen.
Let me rephrase that. I don't mind first gen. I mind the first 16, 18 months.
Yeah.
After that, I think I'm pretty good, right? Because the recalls are going to be there. They're going to know about known issues for the most part. And then you go and buy one. And most of the time, if the issues are known, they're already going to fix what's on the car, like kind of what happened to the Cybertruck. They're going
Right.
and fixing what's already there. Sometimes they're not even selling the Cybertrucks because they're having to fix the issues, and then they're putting them back on a lot for you to buy. So
Well,
I
and
think
then
when you get to that, like 1 year to 16, 18 months, I think you're pretty much good to go.
Well, and then you got like the Cybertruck, like you can't even lock the diff yet.
Yeah, it's strange. Doesn't mean I still don't want one though.
Oh, I want one, but once again, I'll LS swap it. I have one more worst car, and I think universally can be considered the worst car ever made because, I've never driven one. I want to, but I know what would happen if I did. The Reliant Robin, sir. I don't know what they were thinking.
This car's been made a couple of times, right? But it's been in reverse. 2 wheels up front, 1 in the rear. So
we've all driven
is this a
those.
European car?
Oh yeah, the Reliant Robin is only available in Europe. It is a
So this car's
three-wheeled,
been made a couple of times.
three-cylinder.
Right? Yeah.
I think it's like it's like 1800 cc. It's not even like cubic inches. It's
Correct. It's a motorcycle.
dinky.
engine.
It's basically a motorcycle. But if
Yep.
you take a turn too fast in this sucker, it falls over.
And I think, obviously that's a major issue, but I think that's why they end up reversing the whole situation because the weight's at the front of the car. Because usually you're carrying at least one passenger that's heavier than the motor. And then when you carry 2 people, you're definitely heavier than the whole entire ass end of the car. So they reversed it. And that's why they call it like a reverse trike. So reverse trike car.
Right.
That's why Can-Am motorcycles are crazy huge popular. They're safe.
They're a lot safer.
And I don't hate these cars. I'm a huge Can-Am Slingshot. I'm a huge fan of that car. I would love to have one day. I'm a huge fan of Can-Am, and there's a couple of European cars that are reversed with 2 wheels up front. There's even, what was it called, like the T-Rex? There was like a car / motorcycle. It had a Hayabusa engine in it.
Yeah, it's got a steering wheel instead of handlebars.
Correct.
And it almost looks like a McLaren up front. And then it's literally a Hayabusa motor with a single 300
it's
tire.
It's 2-seater.
No, but behind the seats, it has a Hayabusa motor with a single 300 tire in the back.
Yeah, it's massive, but they were crazy expensive.
I think that was
that's where they messed up. That's exactly. They should have kept the car or that mode of transportation, whatever it's categorized, under $40,000. But I think they were selling for like $90,000. It was like, are you insane?
For a toy.
100% toy. Zero storage. It took you from A to B, and you were not able to get anything more than a bag or 2 of groceries. That's
exactly.
it. There's no doors. There's no side windows. There's nothing.
Well, that's the other thing. With no doors and stuff, you can't park it anywhere because somebody's going to fucking steal it. Let's be honest.
Sometimes I take the risk in this car.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once again, you got the convertible Porsche. I won't do a convertible because I know I can cut the top off of a convertible in about 15 minutes or less.
No, I totally get it.
Plus, I drive like an asshole, so I'm like, yeah, if I roll this fucker, I'm dead. So
I don't drive like an asshole.
Well, no, but I normally don't. But my luck is the first time I try to take a curve that a little faster than I should, I'm gonna roll over and die.
I get that.
But let's kind of roll into the subject of best cars. I don't have any pictures.
Yep.
But now I know you're the European guy. Best car ever for you.
If I had to pick, I'm picking a Ferrari Pista.
Okay.
Like I'm absolutely in love with it. It's basically a 488. You could go to like Ferrari F8. I mean, that's what I want. But it's not like a super duper limited edition car.
Oh, it's pretty.
It's magnificent. Are you kidding me? Like, but the price tag's astronomically expensive.
Yeah, let me go pull a picture here real quick.
What are they like? High 300s to half a mil?
Oh, I'm
Steve,
always
what's
afraid
up,
to
buddy?
look. When it's a Ferrari, I'm afraid to look at the price.
Oh man, sign me up for the Ferrari Pista all day, every fucking day.
I have a couple of answers for best car ever. And yeah, I'm a bit biased because, well, I'll do European. There's a guy I'm watching on YouTube.
Okay, well, how about this? Since you go do, I'll go too. So mine isn't currently out yet, but I have to go Ford GTD.
Okay, yeah. I saw that coming. I saw that a mile away.
You should have. I mean, that's freaking
Well,
amazing.
Speaking of the GTD, while I'm pulling up this picture, we talked right before the show of Corvette C06.
The new one is nasty.
There's rumors, nobody knows the answer, but I've heard rumors of single and twin turbo and anywhere from 6 to 850 horsepower.
Yep.
And the body, there's a couple extra vents and on the sides and a massive fuck you wing. And I'm not mad at it. It looks gorgeous. Apparently they had it testing on the Nürburgring. They're testing on Nürburgring. No numbers have come out on it yet, but it's pretty. Of course, they have it in that camo. I don't have a picture of it, but one of my best cars of, I want to say it was. It's got to be early 90s.
Okay.
And European, so I think you'll be happy with this. The 190E Evo 2 Mercedes.
I dig it.
Now, however, if you want one and you're in the States, you can't have one.
That's right.
But you can build one. There are kits where you can build it. You get a 190 Mercedes, and there's actually a guy I'm watching right now on YouTube. He bought a 190. You know, the 190, it's like what? It's a straight 6, I think.
Yeah, mostly.
Well, he ripped out the straight 6 and he put in an LS2 or an LS3, sorry, which is the aluminum V8 from the Corvette, and he's putting the body kit on it now, and it's got right around 700 horse.
That's nasty.
It's gonna be a rocket ship. And I'm kind of going into my favorites. From my understanding, the 190 Evo 2 that I had there on the screen will go around the Nürburgring in a pretty clip. It was 1985. Sorry. It doesn't have amazing numbers, but it corners like it's on rails. I think it does like a 9-minute or like 8:40 on the Nürburgring, which the fastest lap on the Nürburgring ever is like 7 flat.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the numbers for the most part because I always take the generations that the cars are in.
All right.
Yeah, I really try to be subjective when it comes to that, right? I can't expect a 1960s cars to outperform a 2024 car. No possible way it should be able to do that, right? If you're apples to apples, in every category, the new car should demolish the older car.
But at the end of the day,
cool.
for an 1985 car to do the Nürburgring in 8 minutes, that's quick.
That's scooching, buddy.
That's moving. Like I said, fastest lap ever recorded on the Nürburgring, I think, is 6:50. That's the fastest.
Who was that set by? Did the Valkyrie not try to set a lap on there yet? I don't know if you know what that is. That's the new Aston Martin.
Yeah, that's. I gotta figure out how to spell Nürburgring. Jesus.
It's got that weird U with the 2 dots above it.
Yeah, it always gets me.
Thank you so much for that, Steven. I appreciate you, buddy.
Okay, so fastest ever Nürburgring lap, 5:19.
Yep.
and it was in a Porsche 919 hybrid Evo, and it was set last year.
Yeah.
So technically that doesn't count because it's a hybrid, and electric vehicles will go 0 to 1,000,000 in nothing.
Yeah, I always kind of categorize anything that has electric motors a little bit differently than
Well, for example,
turbos or superchargers or even all motor cars.
To kind of put it in example, the 911 GTS, which is not unlike your Porsche, except for your Porsche is a lot slower because it's GT3. Yours isn't a GT3. 716.
That was a GTS or GT3?
GT3.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, for people who don't know what GT3s are, and this is a new one, right? A 2023, 2024 version?
I think this was, it doesn't say when. It was 2025.
This is an incredible fucking car, and they are beyond hard to get.
They're about as close to a race car as you can get.
100% accurate. That is...
There's no backseat.
Like the Valkyrie or something like that. This is a touring fucking race car.
Yeah, it comes with a roll cage. It's so fucking nuts.
I would love to have one, but even if I had the money, I still don't get one because they are already
because it's going to be stolen. It's going to be stolen.
They're already allocated. You can't get one. You have to. It's a whole.
Well, even if you get the older ones. Like, I wouldn't buy a brand new one. I would never buy a brand new car because I'll ruin the warranty by the time I pull out of the driveway. But even an older GT3.
Even the older GT3s are hard to get.
They're 100+ grand.
People want them because they're so freaking balanced. And the GT4s, so the difference is a GT3 is a freaking race car for the track. GT4 can outrun a GT3 in a straight. But
it can't do the corners.
It cannot do the corners. Like the GT4 is letting all the way off the gas. The GT3 is still in the gas in the corner. It's just
it's begging for more.
It is wanting because it's all about downforce. It's like
well, not only that. If you buy, like for instance, if I took your Porsche, I would upgrade. I'd put a supercharger on a turbo or something to make it faster. The GT3, don't touch it. Because if you change one set screw, it's not as good.
I completely agree.
It's dialed in.
This is a well-oiled machine.
100%. I gotta say so that was my one of my 80s picks for best car ever. Of course, the ultimate 80s cool car that is still cool today if you could get one, and if you can get one, good on you.
If you don't say DeLorean, you're wrong.
Well, actually, the DeLorean is not a great car.
It doesn't have to be a great car. It just to me, it has to be iconic.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
To me, it's the most quintessential 80s car ever of all time.
I'm going to argue with you.
I love it, though.
The Grand National.
I mean, to me, that's the second place.
The problem I have with the DeLorean...
Nothing to bitch about whatsoever with the Grand National.
The problem I have with the DeLorean is the motor is shit.
Well, that's because all the money in R&D got snorted up.
Right, but if you get a DeLorean and you LS swap it, you can put an LS3 in it fairly easily, and you got a nice little rocket ship.
I think that's kind of what you have to do at this point.
Mm-hmm. Or you could, if you really want to be weird, you could put a Porsche not a Porsche, but a Subaru motor in.
You could do a couple of different motors to, make that.
And you don't need a ton of horsepower. The beauty of a DeLorean is if you buy a DeLorean, you're recognized everywhere you go. It doesn't have to be fast.
As fast as you need to go in a DeLorean is only 88 miles an hour.
A stock DeLorean won't do 88.
That's right.
It'll do 88 in 3 days.
Yep.
Downhill,
with the behind wind pushing you.
Yeah, with a backwind. Yeah, I follow a couple guys. They have DeLoreans, and these guys have one or two, and they'll keep one stock, and then one they'll build the Back to the Future car, but their Back to the Future car always has a replaced motor because they're like
because that's the one that's in the shows and things like that.
Yeah, you're going to be using it more often.
Because the whole thing with the DeLorean has never been pop the hood. It is the body on
where's the
DeLorean.
flux capacitor? You know,
It's right there in the middle, buddy.
Yeah. Well, and have you seen the prices of flux capacitors? You can buy them. There's people that make them and sell them, like where you hang it up on your wall. They're like $400.
You know what? That's pretty cheap to time machine yourself around, though, buddy.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day,
all you need is a couple of cans and some old stuff that you're getting ready to throw away, anyways, and then boom, you just pick your destination and off you go.
But how cool would it be to take a Cybertruck and a DeLorean and park them next to each other?
To me, sign me up for that. That's what I want. That is one of the reasons I absolutely love the Cybertruck. It is
like if they redo
version.
If they ever redo Back to the Future, because there's always been talks of it's Back to the Future 4, and now there's all these rumors like Tom Holland's going to revise the role, blah blah blah. If they use the DeLorean, I'm going to be mad. You have the Cybertruck right there.
You got to use it. And Elon Musk is begging you to use the Cybertruck.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's one of those things.
Grand National, I agree with that.
Grand National,
fantastic
you don't have
car.
to, but the problem is with the Grand National, price. If somebody's got one, they know what they got.
Yes.
However, you buy a Buick of the same year, you got a fucking Grand National, and then you LS swap it and call it a day.
Yeah, but man, don't you want the turbo? You want the little markers on the side with the little turbo.
Well, you can build a fake one if you want.
Behind the back glass where the passenger seats, the passenger sits. I mean, you want all.
You want the Grand National logo. I get it.
Sometimes you just want what it is.
The problem with the G bodies, which is that's what those cars are called. They're called G bodies. It's the body style. They're shit. If you put too much power to them, you are going to end up in a wall.
Don't they flex real bad?
Oh, I'm talking like, the one of the famous line from Fast and Furious is so much torque the chassis twisted when it came off the line. You did that with a 4-cylinder fucking G body. They twist so bad. Now there are ways to fix it. They got strut members and things like that. And if you are to get a G body not to flex, you got to know what you're doing.
Sure.
Because they're a unibody car, and unibody cars are terrible for that. When it comes to a G body, they look cool in any color. Of course, Grand National, you can have it in any color you want, as long as it's black. Which I'm not mad at. When it comes
I've seen a couple of white ones, but I don't like it though.
Yeah, but those are like redone. I've never seen a white.
Yeah, I know. They're all I've seen a couple white ones and I'm just like, dude, that's just not right.
It's not gangster.
Dude.
It's like, what are you taking your grandmother to fucking go shopping? Calm down.
All black with the cloth seats. It screams 80s.
And that cloth gray that just hug you when you sit down. Yeah.
It's like the fastest you could go to a grocery store in the 80s.
And back. Yeah.
Yep. It'd be comfortable, right? Because you could go with like a Countach or something like that, but you're sitting this way.
You can't reverse a Countach. You can't. There's an old saying: "Don't meet your heroes." And
correct.
I know you didn't, but a lot of us had that Countach picture. It's great moving forward. Back that bitch up once.
Well, you can't see out of the rearview mirror, the side mirrors.
Everybody's hangs out the side of the car.
And the windows are this tall. The AC is shit in it.
Yeah.
I'm like this much of a Lamborghini fan.
If I was going to buy a Countach, I wouldn't buy the real thing. I'd buy a replica and put my motor in it.
It's a showpiece at this point.
Yeah.
It's expensive. And
an original Countach, they're like $500,000.
Maybe even more than that. They're probably close to $7-ish, maybe.
No,
one that's been refurbed and you can jump in and drive uncomfortably.
Hoovy from Hoovy's Garage has one. I just watched a video last night, I think. He's got one. It's only got 90,000 miles on it.
Yep.
He was just offered $520,000.
Yeah, but I think he was offered like $2 million for his whole collection not long ago to start over.
Yeah,
he declined it.
Yeah, he's got that Diablo that's gorgeous.
Do you know that he has his own TV show?
Does he really?
Yeah. And most
I
people
have to
don't
check
know
it out.
this. That he does not.
I watch
he
his.
has-
I love his YouTube channel. You know, and I love when he goes. You know, he's a car guy like I'm a car guy.
Yep.
Like I can appreciate the car guy, the car, and I know a little bit about the history. I can't fix the fucker. You know, like what's the dude that bought the I can't remember his name. He bought that McLaren P1 that was flooded in Florida. Tavares, yes. That dude, holy cow. That dude, he bought that
McLaren P1.
McLaren and he rebuilt it. It runs now. Where the insurance company totaled it out.
Correct.
That's impressive.
It's a
And
$2
he
million
did-
car that he bought for $700,000.
Yeah.
And is making it nothing like
Back
what it
to her.
started out.
Well, he actually I just saw TikTok with him and Richard Hammond.
Yep.
He was showing Richard Hammond he bought a Rolls Royce from Copar, and it's a I think it's a 2023 two-door beautiful car. Rolls Royce, I think it was a Phantom, the boat tail or whatever. He only spent $350,000, but he had to buy a second Rolls Royce to fix it because finding Rolls Royce parts are impossible.
Well, because Rolls Royce won't always sell you all the parts, and so there's a caveat to this story. So he was in England when he bought this, and he can't actually bring it back. So
really?
He made So he just made it. I mean, that's what most of these guys do. They just build YouTube cars, especially when you're in America. And you just go over there, and he was actually helping Matt Armstrong out on some stuff. That's why he was over there. And so he just built this car. He's going to turn around and sell it and, collect a little bit of money. He doesn't really care. I mean, he could probably sell it for a loss. He doesn't actually care what he spent on it because the revenue he's making from YouTube is.
Well, yeah, it's like,
for all this.
didn't they say Mr. Beast, he basically, he only has like $50 on him at any time because he spends so much money on the YouTube channel, and that money goes back into the next video. The dude's not liquid billions or millions.
So funny. He lives here in North Carolina.
Oh, no shit.
Yep, he lives here in North Carolina. His girlfriend is South African. So
Yeah,
he doesn't go and see her a whole lot, but he's been doing a lot of out-of-country videos here lately, building little communities.
Yeah, well, he built that water center. That was impressive.
Yeah,
as
he
fuck.
just built a bunch of homes like all over South
no shit.
America and Africa, or something like that. It's crazy. These little, he's building these little, 1,000 square foot houses, but most of these people are living in 300 square foot, a couple pieces of board and some scrap metal over the top. But he's building
and there's like 40 people in one house, right?
Yeah,
so
he's built like
he's
100
doing
of
it
these.
right.
So, I mean, good for him, man. This dude's doing good work.
Yeah, he's not an asshole. He's
Nope.
he's not in it for the money.
No.
I'm sure, he kind of does he does a little bit of self-promoting, but don't we all? But at the end of the day, he's not in it to become rich and famous. He
already is rich and famous.
Well, he has the means to help people out, which is it's a fine line between helping people out for the clout versus helping people out because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I think at this point he just has so much money. When you have products in Walmart, I mean, that's amazing. And time Mr. Beast into cars, like not long ago, just a couple months ago, he gave a Lamborghini away.
Yeah.
He was just like, you got to win it, but he gave it to one of his friends or whatever. He doesn't, I guess, just give things away to his friends. He makes them earn it.
Yeah. Even he did that giveaway where he bought a used car lot and every car on it, and then gave the cars away.
Yeah.
And they were
super
decent
cool.
price.
He just makes all that money right back on YouTube. I mean, guy posts the video and an hour later it's got a couple million views.
Yeah,
Well, heck,
must be
there
rough.
you go, man. So I mean, good for
I want
him.
that guy's problems. I really want that guy's problems.
It's different, isn't it? So what else you got? So you had the Grand National, you had the other car.
Well,
what else you got?
I think I wanted to hit on movie cars, and I know you're not the biggest movie fan, but if you there's a guy in Ohio. He's got a YouTube channel as well. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he drove this as a daily for a year, and it is the ultimate movie car. Like, I don't care who you are, you show up in it, everybody's going to know what it is. He drove, drum roll please, the Michael Keaton Batmobile for a year. Now, granted, it was just a 350. It was a 350. It was kind of a kit car kind of thing, but that's cool.
Yeah, to me, movie cars, for me, going back would be obviously top-notch DeLorean. Second would be Ghostbusters car.
Okay, Ecto 1. Which, by the way, if you can find one, good luck with that, because they're not cheap, even if they're a shitbox. And then you got to put a couple $100,000 in it to get it running and make it look like the real thing.
Yeah, and massive rust on those cars at this point. I mean, they're
that wasn't something they worried about.
Correct. Yeah, those are my two kind of movie cars from that era.
Well, and I have a real love-hate relationship with movie cars. Like, I literally, for the first time ever, watched Corvette Summer the other day, and huge disappointment. The car was ugly. It was a 73 Vet that has this weird fiberglass thing on just ugly car. And, but you got to go with Kit. Knight Rider Kit, man. That thing was cool.
TV car.
Well, that's TV car. I get it. And so's the General Lee. But, they did have movies come out with them. And then, of course.
Knight Rider had a movie?
I think so. I think it was a made-for-TV movie. But,
sure.
But
I'm trying to think of a TV car for me. Maybe Miami Vice?
Okay, yeah. The Testarossa. The Testarossa is a weird love-hate relationship for me.
It's ish for me, but that's the very first Ferrari I ever fell in love with. And it aged okay.
Yeah. Like I said, if somebody handed me the keys and said, "This is yours," I'm going to take it every day. I mean, I'll call you to sell it to you, but I'll always own a Testarossa for a couple of weeks. And then, of course, and I know Smartass is going to be in the comments on this, the 78 Trans Am. Old Smokey and the Bandit, boy.
Yeah, it's not really
for an automatic car.
Not really my
automatic car. It was cool.
Didn't they do a conversion of the new car over to that one?
Yes. So you could actually buy them.
That car is actually spectacular, but I don't enjoy the original one.
Well, the problem I have with the new Trans Am, and that's the best way. It's a gorgeous car. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. And let me show everybody what we're talking about here. And Smartass Flick pointed it out, and I get it. You don't buy it because it's a Trans Am. You buy it because it looks like the old one, but it's just a Camaro. Granted, it's got 700 horsepower, but it looks cool. I'm not mad at it.
Wasn't this featured on Gas Monkey Garage?
No. Well, there's a company called, I can't remember the name of the company that makes them.
Yeah. Because this is all they do is these conversions.
And they do the GTO too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're still in business, but I mean, this car is incredible looking.
Well, and of course, they have another car that they did. And actually, I have a picture of it here.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig everything about this car.
The other car they do, and I think the company's actually called Trans Am something Trans Am. But they do the Judge GTO.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
It's hard to make that retro body style look good. I think they did great with the Trans Am. The GTO,
the hood scoops are just way too far forward. But if they're going for functionability, I understand. Maybe they could have done something a little different, but
But The problem is price. They're like 200 grand. They're 200 grand.
Yeah, and you have to buy the car first to ship to them.
No, you can do one of two. You can buy the car first, or they'll have one already made.
I didn't even realize they had in stock vehicles.
Yeah. Well, I think what they do is they
don't paint it and they don't include the interior. You get to pick those kind of things out, and then they go and customize it to your spec.
Yeah, well, like for what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll buy a couple of V6 or V8 Camaros and have them ready, so you don't have to go searching for one.
Gotcha.
But Dodge came out with a new truck too. I just saw it yesterday. Let me check it out. New.
Well, didn't they have to, because they came out with like the Raptor R or something, and this new Raptor that Ford came out with is like really freaking good.
This is actually, I think this is a it's a Hennessy brand. So I think it's Hennessy.
Then Dodge didn't come out with it.
Well, right. I apologize. Yeah, it's a Hennessy.
Okay, there's a difference right there. Yeah, Hennessy.
But,
if you guys don't know who Hennessy is, they're not to be fucked with.
Yeah. It's called the Mammoth.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, it's Hennessy's brand. I'm familiar with everything Hennessy does. I'm really looking forward to when they get their hands on the Dark Horse. Like I am.
I am as well. So they got a couple of versions. I'm going to show you a couple of different versions of this is a bear with me 2 seconds here. The first one is it's 1,000 horsepower truck.
Yep.
Not ugly, not terrible.
Nope.
But then they took it a step further. Now this one,
they do.
The Hennessy Mammoth 1000. They're pricey. They're upwards around 150, 200 grand. But then for 250, there are no words.
Yeah, I don't know where you park that thing at.
Anywhere you want, buddy. It's
that's the only answer. I'm guessing. Yeah.
You know, 200 grand. Or 200 plus grand?
Your gas mileage has got to be 7, 8 miles, maybe 10. It's got to be a diesel motor, right? No, I don't know.
No, they're gas. It's Hennessy because they're 1,000 plus.
They're all about gas motors.
But once again, you don't buy a Hennessy for gas mileage. It's miles per gallon, not miles.
That's very true, because the Venom, is it the Hennessy F8, that car? I mean, oh my God, this car. Now, so Hennessy started out just modifying cars, right? They were kind of like Shelby. That's kind of what they were. And then they came out with their own like super duper limited hardcore their version of cars, and they haven't missed yet. And I don't understand.
They don't miss the mark, buddy.
No, but I don't
the
understand
F8
on the grand scale of supercar, like top echelon. I don't understand why they're not more revered.
You know what? Hennessy's one of those brands. Shelby, you find a Shelby Mustang by blinking your eye, or you can buy a Shelby blinking your eye.
Nowadays you can. Nowadays, but not. But then
it's when it comes to Hennessy. If you see a Hennessy on the road, you're going to stop and take pictures, because nobody's going to believe
Hennessy is. And I am not only stopping and taking pictures, I'm waiting around till they crank it up and I can watch them leave, because it's like,
agreed.
You never, ever see that. This is a Texas car company, so it's not like I'm watching them test either.
Right.
So it's just, this
so
would be
like
nothing more than exciting for me.
It's kind of like Saleen does the same thing. Saleen is known, Hennessy is known, but they're not known like Shelby. Shelby is worldwide. There are people.
Maybe I should have rephrased. Not so much Shelby as more like Saleen, but I don't think Saleen's not even a thing anymore. Like, that's done and gone with.
I think so, and I think that comes once again. It's hard to get advertising for a big company like that. Advertising, as we talked the other day, is 90% of your budget.
Are they still around?
What?
Shelby. Saleen.
I don't know.
I don't think they're around anymore. I mean, that hasn't been since the early mid 2000s.
I think they're closed.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
The website's still up. They got the Sport Truck and the Sport Truck XT, the Tesla GTX. Ooh, they do Broncos too. Hold on, I'm bringing up their website, dude. They got a couple of cars on here.
No, was that for you to buy like parts kits for them? Like they can send you?
There's the Saline 1, starts at $120K.
Saline 1?
Yes, sir. Then there's the 302 Black Label, which is basically a Saline Mustang.
What is a Saline 1? What body is that based off of?
I have no idea.
You're not buying a car like that that's made for specifically them.
Yes, it is. That is a Saline car, sir.
Why does that look like a few years ago Eclipse?
It looks like it. Or an NSX.
No, not an NSX.
Yeah,
Saline 1. Something's weird there. This is like a kit
450 horse. 450 horse.
This is
That's
like a
not
kit car. I've never even seen or heard this ever. I didn't even know Saline was still in business.
I didn't either. It looks like it's got some teeth to it.
450 horsepower in a car that looks like that?
I think it's mid-engine.
What does it say? 125?
120K is starting.
I mean, that's a great looking car for $125,000 or 120K.
There's a Saline truck.
Yeah, but these, I mean, how do you order? Do you ship them your F-150? Like
no, I think they have them ready to run. Well, maybe not ready to run.
This must be like dealer options. Like you go to the dealer and maybe.
No, because you can right here. It's how to order. Ordering. Personalize your Saline vehicle. Choose your model.
Well, fuck,
ooh, that Bronco's dope.
And check out that Saline 1.
They got that. Tesla? That's a Tesla GTX.
Yeah, these are like kits. These are like kits you can buy.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they're like they used to be.
It is. They build them. They build them in stock, in house.
Yeah, but you're buying kits, right?
And they deliver too.
Yeah. This is kits. Okay, now I understand what's going on. And I don't hate on it, right? It's just like buying like a Whipple supercharger kit or anything like that. You're just buying a kit.
Speaking of Whipple, I saw something the other day. Now we all know what a supercharger is. What's the biggest supercharger you ever saw, sir?
I saw one that was
Whipple's got a new one.
I saw one that was like an 8-stack, a 6-stack or something one time. But
Whipple just came out with an 8.2 liter supercharger.
Jesus.
So you're basically going to bolt another motor onto your motor.
There's no talking unless you have aircraft carrier grade comm kit.
Yeah, well,
and wearing an oxygen mask because that thing is going to be sucking all the oxygen that is in front of you.
Well, not only that, you're not going to do that stock back bottom end. It's going to throw rods like an old man at a fucking strip joint. It's not going to happen. Like
you have to build this car. Yeah. Wow. You said 8.4 liter?
8.2 liter.
Dude, the whine on this thing you can hear from probably half a mile away.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Wow.
8 liter super. Here we go. It is nuts. And I got a couple of pictures here. I just brought up Google Images. There it is, right there.
What a big bastard.
Yeah. It's supposedly made for
Dodge?
No, it's actually made for racing boats.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can understand that then.
It's not you don't go buy this and throw it on your fucking Coyote and call it a day. It's not, you're not gonna hold. It would be. It's not something you're gonna throw on your fucking Camaro and I'm gonna go run 3s in the quarter. So, it's not, and it's got a price to it.
Doesn't everything in the Biden economy?
They're 30 grand
For the supercharger kit?
just for the kit, 30 G's. But
Yeah, but I mean, clearly this is for boat racing and people are racing for money. I mean, this is a different category.
and don't get me wrong, boat racing, those guys are a different breed of human. I don't think they are human.
That is scary shit.
No, you won't. I don't mind going fast, but to the point where if you've seen that one crash, there's a crash, and I don't have the video, and I'll find it for next time. But this dude, the boat flips, he flies out of the canopy, and it looks like dude's walking on water.
Yep.
Just waiting to fucking fall down, and I'm like, no. And he goes for like 100 yards before he starts splashing down. I don't think the dude lived.
I can't remember. If he did, he was in really bad shape.
Yeah, because that's like hitting concrete.
Yeah, because those guys are cruising. I mean, most of the boat is out of the water when those guys are rolling. They're not actually seeing where they go most of the time. They're just pointing in a general direction and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and
you can't even fart when you're going that fast in a boat because it throws the whole aerodynamics off.
Well, I got some pictures here of race boats. These are just put in race boat in your Google, and some of these are ridiculous, dude.
They're insane.
That guy's an idiot. I want the one with the canopy. I'm sorry. I just.
You know who got an old race boat, don't you?
Who?
The boys from
Did they really?
Goon Squad, yep.
Oh, they got an electric one.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
speaking of electric, I think NASCAR is going EV.
I saw that. So they tested out the new EV. I saw a clip where it was coming to a stop. It's fucking silent, dude. It's scary.
Yeah, they've already done a bunch of EV racing. There's a whole EV circuit league. I really hope they don't do EV. They just do hybrid.
I don't mind hybrid. I'm sorry, but you don't. Yeah, I get it. You're going to the race to see the race, but the sounds are part of it.
Yeah, but I want them to do it kind of like in stages, right? Like it would be super cool, like F1 does, like DRS. It's like okay, you've went this many laps, or however they say you've earned DRS, and you've got to save your DRS until you feel it's best used, and then the wing is like this, and then it flaps up. So you're just getting all the best airflow. Your downforce is gone, but you're getting the best performance in the sleekest line. I kind of want them to do like EV, like the hybrid part. Like it's going to have to be selected of when everybody turns this shit on. But also, is if they wreck, how can they contain to make sure someone isn't getting battery acid spilt all over them?
Well, not only that, when a Tesla catches fire, you just have to wait till it burns out. Like you almost
so
can't.
They're gonna have to do they're gonna have to do some type of foam in these cars. And there's a couple of like cars that already do foam. There's one that just got released. Is it the McLaren Solstice GT? I don't know. Maybe that one. I think that one does the foam if they crash. But they're going to have to do some type of foam suppressant, like they did in Demolition Man.
Yeah, because or that what's it? The Speed Racer movie. It's just the bubbles, and then you roll into a funnel. But yeah, I like the idea how EVs are quick and they're quote unquote sustainable, but I want the sound. I want the rumble. I don't want the I don't want to make it sound like a bunch of RC cars running around.
Yeah, I think
if I can whisper to you while we're in the fucking pits, I'm good. I don't want to go.
Yeah, I honestly think that's still NASCAR.
I want to walk around like this the whole time I'm there.
The only way EV works in NASCAR is if they pretty much go all road courses. And don't do any more,
But is it even NASCAR at that point?
No. But to me, that's kind of what they're going towards. They're going towards the European market, Because
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, man, the European market, or kind of anywhere other than the United States, they have way better racing.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, it's like,
hands down,
no.
there's like so much different racing. There's racing for everybody, from someone who is novice all the way up to F1.
Oh, yeah.
And,
And then, of course,
what do we
then you
got?
got-
NASCAR and drag racing. That's what we got.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's be honest. Well, what was it last year when they had that NASCAR car in Le Mans?
Yep.
It was dominating. Granted, it didn't place because it was I still don't understand the groups when it comes to Le Mans, because they got 4 groups going at once.
Yep.
But it was beating supercars. So, and they kind of proved that American race cars can take corners. So if you kind of do a Le Mans style race in the States, granted, a lot of racetracks need to be rebuilt, but it's way more exciting. It's
super exciting. Well, I mean, they just had one in Chicago. That was
Did they?
pretty fun to watch. That was on a road.
every once in a while they'll have one here. You know, they cut off the
Really?
streets. They haven't done it for the
super
past
cool,
few years.
man.
They've done it here, I think, once or twice in the past, but I've
I
been
mean,
here.
technology has gone so far advanced that NASCAR needs to go to road races.
You got it.
And not make it only where 2 cars can race wide. Make the
Right.
tracks big enough where we can go 3 cars, where there's time to pass, and make hardcore hairpins, you know, going into long straights and things like that, to give the back of the cars a chance to catch up, to makes it exciting.
Exactly. Well, the
there's
problem with
lots of things they can
NASCAR,
do.
the problem with NASCAR in a circle track is, like, I can make 4 left turns. That's not that hard.
No.
I'm not diminishing the ability of these drivers, because they face some serious G-forces. Don't get me wrong.
Serious
I don't
G-forces
think I'd
and
be able to-
massive amounts of times doing left turns at high speeds for multiple
Yeah.
hours.
It's not like you get bored and you just sit there and play with the one finger on the wheel. Let's be honest. It's a lot of work.
But
But-
there's a reason why you can start a race and then be shit-faced drunk and never, at the end of the race, but
100%.
never watched 80% of the race, and still have a good time. I mean, that's my whole thing. When I go watch a road course, there's constantly somebody passing and bumping, and there's a lot more track limits that are going on. It's a lot more interesting, road racing, European racing. I'm really not sure what's going on with Jeff's internet. You there, buddy? All right, guys, we will end the show there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go check us out 5 days a week as of right now. Mondays, we have Man Care for Men. Tuesdays, we have Jeff's Garage with Jeff and I. Wednesday, we have WTF News. Thursdays, the guys are taking a break, supposedly. And Friday, we have Glick's House of Music. Saturday, we have the Mother Show. Nonsensical Nonsense. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you. And we will see you next Tuesday.
We're still live. We're still live. Yeah, my internet died there for a second. So I don't know if Benji's still here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this up so I can fix my computer, find out what's going on. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, everybody, for watching. For some reason, I don't know why, but my internet just decided to die there for a second. So we're going to go ahead and play the outro. Benji might be back here in a second. I just texted him. Go ahead and play the outro here.
Hey, Lori, what in the hell are you doing in there? Is she gonna ride with you?
Mind your own business, John.
Yeah, she's going with me. You take care of yourself, man.
I heard she was in a burn rubber and making motors blow. So what the school asked her just how fast she liked to go. She said, how many cubic inches you got where it counts? I told her 125 inch, but my motor mounts. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod ain't enough for her. She didn't stay up for. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. And I'm in my box of bows. She's a hot rod whore. Well, she's in all drive distance. Salt and anxious too. And a vulnerable and a positive traction rate turns her to go. That head now heck, give it a kind of head buddy or table wag. You gotta go sitting on your hoop. It's in the bag. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. She don't need to know your son. Just your token power. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. They're shining my rods up close. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod. She's the fastest thing boys have ever seen in her high school auto shop. Just give her 2 double pumpers and a big old Tom Lamb that watch her roll up on a little drop. Wow, he's taking you thunder down the drag strip. Don't get a vibe on that 10, just show her your time slip. Never run it up her quarter mile. She's so goddamn cute. If you don't watch her coming off the line, she'll make you pop your chute. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. If you're right the first speed, it's guaranteed. Have fun, let's go with a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Just minding my back up, boys. She's a hot rod whore.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for everybody listening. Benji had to go. He's got a call he's got to make for work, as we all do. This is once again Jeff's Garage. A little weird episode there at the end because my internet died. I'm going to do some updates on my computer. Once again, everybody check out the Nonsensical Network Monday through Friday, Saturday, sorry. Mondays, of course, is Men's Care for Men. Wednesdays is Jeff's Garage. Tuesdays is Jeff's Garage. Wednesdays is What the Fuck News. Thursdays, Mark and Brian are taking a little bitty break. And then, of course, Friday is Glick's House of Music. Check out this Friday. He has the Women Rock LA girls on there. They're going to be talking about their interview. He's going to be interviewing them. And then Saturday, of course, is the Nonsensical Nonsense Show where we open the door and everybody can come in and give their 2 bits. I'm going to leave everybody with this thought that when it comes to your car or your garage, it's all about what you want. Don't listen to anybody else. Do your own thing. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Hit the button.